So the Prime card happened this past Saturday, and I'm gonna be breaking down what I think about this whole card into three sections: the prelims, main card, main event. So I'll be starting off with the prelims. So getting into the prelims of this fight, you know, the prelims on every other boxing event, or maybe even UFC events, right? They're really not supposed to be that special, right? I think the main objective, and disagree with me in the comments. I don't know how you guys feel about prelims on the cards, but I feel like it all really depends on the last fight of it. The last fight before you get into the pay per view. Supposed to be very exciting to get you, leading off very hyped heading into the main card. So it really did that job of Ed Matthews getting that 20-second knockout over Swarms, coming in 2 days, 2 day late replacement, right? So it did that job. But if we're gonna be talking about, the other three fights, they were very forgettable fights. I'm not gonna remember a Chase Demore versus Temple Arts heavyweight prelim championship fight. Like the first round of it was cool, but then the rest was a controversy. I felt like Chase won. But the fight, if we're gonna talk about the fight itself, it wasn't really anything that entertaining. It was all right. It was nothing memorable. Same with Asher Wet versus Alexa Grace. It was very sloppy. It was nothing too entertaining to really watch in that fight. So I don't know. I didn't really enjoy those fights. And the DDG one, I mean, they're both boxing for the first time. Besides DDG, I think he his second fight or whatever. But first round knockout. But it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't really that competitive. So the prelims, it got the job done in the sense that it got me excited to go into the pay per view card by having that 20-second knockout. So that's my overall thoughts on the prelims of the Prime card. So heading into the main card of this Misfits event, this is the best section of the night. I think the main card really surprised a lot of people watching this event, including myself on it was going to be better than the main events, which I'll get to in a sec. Starting off tag team match, probably the best tag team match in Misfits yet. Either that one or the Dean Waleed, Yachty Gang TV, and A-Pop one was also very high level as well. Both those fights were great. But yes, very great way to start the event was having that tag team match, especially to everyone who is new on Misfits. Your goal was to show that, hey, this is what we're all about. And one of the things that they started to implement is this tag team boxing. And it did very good, very great start to the card. Now, my mate Nate in Winderson, it was a good fight. Nothing memorable. I would remember this fight as, hey, I remember this fight being actually, not that bad. It was good. If you're a diehard influencer boxing fan. But for all the casuals and all the people who, this is their first Misfits event, they're not really going to go back to this fight and be like, yes, this fight was amazing. And talk about, why Winterson versus My Mate Nate was, the best card of, the Prime card and all of that. Because there's a lot better of fights, and which we'll get into. Now, Anthony Taylor and King Kenny, this is the best way I would explain this fight, right? On the eye of, everyone whoever's a fight fan, right? To whoever, that is, they're not going to be entertained of that fight at all. To be honest, I wasn't either. But if you're AT, you would fight that 10 out of 10 times to win the belt. So for AT to go and win for that fight, he had to fight like that, which is respectable. You're at the end of the day, you're trying to win the belt. You know what I mean? I mean, if you can showboat and do all that, etc., go for it. You know what I mean? It's your choice, but you're trying to win the fight. That was the objective, and I've seen a lot of people be really mad about that. And I'm like, listen, at the end of the day, it's like you're trying to win. So I don't know. I don't have a problem with it of AT fighting, but yes, I do agree though with the mass. Whereas it was kind of an underwhelming fight. Now to in my personal opinion, the fight of the night, Dean the Great and Waleed Sharks. I don't know where to start with this fight. Dean the Great, I had the exact prediction of Dean the Great by decision, and I think Dean the Great really proved two things. I think he proved his worthiness and value in this scene. We might have to start talking about Dean the Great being one of the face of Misfits boxing. That is a serious conversation to have. Dean the Great, he's 5-0. He promotes his fights very well. And he's fought against tough competition at the end of the day. You know, Waleed Sharks in his second fight and in his last fight, three-time Golden Glove winner. It's props to Dean for not getting the first fight win, but also going against him again in a rematch and winning all the rounds. The last one you could debate whatever, but I mean he won majority of the fight. And at the end of the day, yeah, we Dean the Great is someone that we have to start talking about as the future of Misfits. So got a big win. He also got a lot of attention from Ryan Garcia and for one other person I can't think of, but main person was Ryan Garcia who really saw how Dean the Great was, and they went back and forth on Twitter. Now, next is the Slim Salt Poppy matchup, KO of the night. Slim also shocked the world and is now 7-0, which is crazy to think about. Yes, I can understand that his stat is padded, which to be fair, most of his fights are padded fights, but however, I don't want to discredit that of this win because getting a KO by against Salt is huge. Salt is, the boogeyman of Misfits. No one wants to fight Salt Poppy. And, it's unfortunate that he's on a 2-fight skid because Salt Poppy is really entertaining. Everyone knows who Salt Poppy is in the fight scene right now. So, it's unfortunate, he got a little cocky and unfortunately got knocked out. But, I think Salt Poppy could really come back and, maybe his next fight, just start back, just fight by fight, get back into it. But, next for Slim is very tricky. I think, on top of my head, 2 fights that Slim could go against. If he wants to go grab that 175 belt once again against AT, he most certainly could. Or he could also go and fight Gibb. I think Gibb is a fight that everyone wants in this scene. That's also like I feel like the next super fight is Slim versus Gibb. And according to all the influencer boxing fans, in my opinion, would want a Slim versus Gibb matchup. But anyways, that's gonna wrap up the main card, which in my opinion is the best part of the Misfits Prime event. Now getting into the Prime event, what they call the double main event, starting off with Logan Paul, Dylan Dennis. I'm gonna speak on Dylan Dennis for just like 5 seconds here. I'm not surprised that he did all that. I think his boxing skills were a little surprising, but outside of that, like I just knew he was gonna be there for the bag. I don't know. But Logan Paul though, I wanted to see something different from him. He looked the same as he did in 2021. He looked the same as he did in 2019. So I'm not necessarily, surprised of what I saw from Logan Paul, just spamming the 1-2s and throwing what Wade and Sensei would say, the arm punches at the end of the day. I didn't see really anything different from Logan Paul ever since 2021 and ever since 2019. But yeah, that matchup, the most promoted matchup, did not live to its hype at all. The end of the fight was funny. I don't know. It was funny for like 5 seconds, and then it's just 50 people just entering into the ring. Like what the hell's going on? Now main event though, KSI Tommy Fury, most controversial fight probably on the night. There's a few up there, but KSI Tommy Fury's very controversial. Yeah, I haven't necessarily watched the whole fight back, but I've seen Wade's video and I've seen other fans' comments on the fight. I could really see it any way, to be honest, at this point. I don't know. I could really see it any way. My safest, if I were to say anything, a draw, but that can't happen because it's 6 rounds unless you give, a round 5, 10, 10, whatever. The scoring's weird. I don't know. It was just an overall weird fight and a lot of clinching and stuff. But, one message to KSI, honestly, he should just keep his head up and bounce back, honestly. Props to JJ for going against, someone who was a professional boxer. I wouldn't even think, from 5 years ago, 2023, back in 2018, that he would have fought Tommy Fury or just been in the boxing ring with, just a professional boxer and a lot of people having that chance to say that he might win this fight. So KSI surprised me, and I think that's gonna wrap it up right here. Main question is, would I buy the Prime card again, knowing what I would have got throughout the whole night for $60 again? Overall, the answer is no. Simple as that. If you guys want more videos like this, please subscribe for more content. The end of the year goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers. and comment down below what you guys think of this video.